You find a cruise you like, the price looks good, so you book it and move on. But that could be a big mistake. This is why many cruisers never get the best deal. The truth is, there is no one magic booking date for everyone. After decades of cruising, I've learned that the best time to book depends on the type of cruise you're booking. So I'm going to give you the exact time to book for each situation. But more importantly, I'm going to give you one rule that will help ensure you get the best deal no matter which cruise you choose. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you the cruise insider information you need to avoid mistakes, save money, and protect yourself so that you can have your best cruise ever. After many years of booking cruises and chasing great cruise deals, I have learned one important thing, and that is that the price you book a cruise at is not necessarily the final price you pay. In fact, cruise lines fluctuate their pricing often. And just because you book a cruise at one price doesn't mean you have to settle for that price if the price goes down in the future. And here's why. Most major cruise lines will price match between the time you book your cruise and the time when the final payment is due. So the number one thing that you can do in order to ensure you're getting the best cruise deal is to not only find a good price and book it, but continue watching the price for that cruise up until at least your final payment is due. And it can make it really easy if you book with a cruise travel agency. For example, I usually use Cruise Direct. I've got a link for them in my description if you want to check them out. But the very last cruise I booked, about a month after I booked it, I saw that the price went down by $100 a person. I just got online with Cruise Direct, sent them a text in their chat box, and they took care of everything and changed my overall final payment, lowering it by over $200. This is very common in the cruising industry because they're constantly monitoring inventory and adjusting prices according to demand. And this takes a lot of the pressure off of us because you don't have to worry that much if the deal right now is as good as it gets, or should I wait for the next sale and see if it gets better? Because I can book it now, and if that price goes down, the cruise lines in most cases will match it. I usually monitor the prices of the cruises that I've booked every couple of weeks, or especially when a sales period comes up, because those are times when you might see cruise lines offer more incentive, and just because I didn't book at that time doesn't mean I can't take advantage of that new price cut. Now, prices don't always drop after you've booked a cruise, and there are some types of cruises where they never drop. I'm going to tell you how to get the best deal on those next. I've been on a lot of cruises, and they're not all created equal. Some of the newer ships get completely sold out months in advance. They're booked to capacity, and they're jam-packed. Also, I've been cruising during holidays, like over the New Year's holiday or over the Christmas holiday, and a lot of times these weeks get completely sold out. And if you're booking a cruise on a popular itinerary, a popular cruise ship, or during a very popular holiday week, you have to anticipate that those cruises you're not going to get better deals the closer it gets to the time of the cruise. In fact, especially if you're booking a cruise on a new ship, a popular ship, or during a holiday sailing, you want to book at least 12 to 16 months in advance. This is when you're gonna find the best possible price. And if you can do it during wave season, you might see that price as low as it gets. Now, wave season is generally the first 3 months of the year, so January through March. And if you book during that time, cruise lines offer a little more specials because they're trying to start the year off with good sales. People who book these popular new ships well in advance generally get a better price than those booking later on, because cruise lines know that these holiday dates and brand new ships are gonna sell out. And in most cases, they don't have to do a lot of price dropping in order to get people on board. In fact, the opposite can actually happen. As cabins start filling up on some of these newer ships and the sailing date is still months away, they'll start raising prices. But that's not the only reason you'd want to book this far in advance. I know a lot of cruisers who have specific cabins they want to book on every cruise, either a very specific location on the ship, or some people need an accessibility cabin or want connecting rooms, and these cabins tend to be more limited. So the best way to book these is as soon as possible after the itinerary is announced. Again, you're looking at about 12 to 16 months or more ahead. This is because you can lock in the exact cabin you want. At that time, not many rooms are filled or booked. So you basically have your choice. Now, that may not be the way to get the best deal, but here's a trick you can use to make sure you do. Book early and lock in that cabin that you really want. Choose the specific cabin, so that's on your reservation. And then if you're not on one of these brand new ships or at a holiday sailing, watch the pricing at least every couple weeks and see it as it drops. Watch it during a holiday sale that comes up. If that price goes down for your cabin category, you can usually have your cruise travel agent reduce the price to that new price while keeping your room selection, because they're not canceling your reservation. They're simply calling up the cruise line and asking for a price match, and you already have that cabin you want locked in. Next, I'm going to give you a different strategy to use if you like packages on your cruises. But first, let me know if you have a specific cabin that you always like to book. Put it in the comments below. There will be some times I'm booking a cruise and I'm just looking for the rock bottom cruise fare, but not always. Sometimes I'd like to throw in a drink package or get a Wi-Fi package added on there. And if that's the case for you, the best time to book is during a holiday sales period, because you will find that during some of these sales periods, they throw in a lot of these packages for half price or less that you can add on to your cruise without paying the full price of the package. That makes the overall deal a whole lot more attractive than just going by the base cruise fare. I recently booked a 7-night MSC cruise during a holiday sale period where they were promoting their Wi-Fi and drink package as an add-on, and it only increased the price by $150 per person. That's a huge savings when if you book at any other time when they're not offering this and you add in the Wi-Fi, that's another 100 or so per person, and you add in the drink package, that's another $350 to $500 per person depending on the cruise. It makes the overall deal much more valuable. During these sales periods, some of these cruise lines will throw in specialty dining credits or even pay your gratuities for you. If you like to cruise with these packages and extras, this is the way to get the best deal, because if you only focus on the cruise fare, you'll end up booking a low price, but then paying a lot more to add on the extras. And you can still go back to my first rule. If you book a cruise with these things thrown in during a holiday sale, and then you see that base price for the cruise go down a month later, you can always call up that cruise line or your cruise travel agent and ask them to match that lower price. In most cases, in my experience, they will do that. Next, I'm going to get to one of the ways that I still find some of the best cruise deals. And speaking of deals, if you're looking to book a cruise, we do maintain a list of the best cruise deals you can book right now. If you'd like a copy, just comment deals or click on the deals link in our description. I have seen some recent social media posts and even videos claiming that last-minute cruise deals are dead. They are absolutely not dead, and they are still some of the best deals that I find when it comes to booking a cruise. Of course, the catch is you've got to be somewhat flexible. But if you are, and you're willing to book a cruise within a 3-month period, but not be so concerned about the cruise line or the cruise ship or even the itinerary, if you can be flexible, you can certainly find a great deal. Some last-minute deals I've seen recently involve 7-night Caribbean cruises for about $250. Now that's crazy, and you might have to go at a specific week where that cruise line is trying to increase inventory on that ship, but it's more than possible. I actually put a special link in my description if you want to do a little searching on your own for some last-minute cruise deals. It's worth a look. You can often find some unheard of deals. You don't have to live in Florida. Yes, a lot of them leave from Florida, but many of them leave out of Los Angeles, leave out of Galveston. So if you're in the Houston area, you're very close. Some of them even leave out of New Orleans. It could really be anywhere. It depends on the cruise line's inventory, and they don't want to sail these ships empty. Again, they make most of their money off of what we spend on board. So getting you on board is the real trick. And the closer that cruise ship is getting to sail well below capacity, the lower that price is going to drop to get more people on board. There really is no best booking time. It really matters on the type of cruise you want to book. So if you're booking a newer ship or a very popular ship, book early. If you're booking during a holiday period or you want a specific cabin, book early. If you want more than just a great deal on the fare, if you want to include extras, the drink package, a specialty dining package, Wi-Fi, book during a holiday sale period. And if you've been on a lot of cruises like me and you're kind of flexible and you don't really care where you're going, you just want to get away, last minute deals can be the best ones out there. So when to book really depends on the type of cruiser you are and the type of cruise that you're looking to get. So once you've booked that cruise and you want to check and make sure you got the best deal, monitor the pricing at least every couple of weeks. And what you need to check when you're monitoring is the same sail date, the same ship, the same itinerary, the same cabin class, and see if that price has dropped from what you paid. After you confirm for that same sailing that price has dropped, take a screenshot. This is very important because sometimes it's hard to go back and re-find what you found. So when you contact the cruise line, or better yet, your cruise travel agent, you can just send them a copy of this screenshot and ask them to find that and match that for you. When they confirm that they can match it, get it in writing. They should always just send you a new receipt for your booking where the price has gone down. Now, this works in most cases with most major cruise lines, but ultimately it is up to the cruise line whether or not they're going to accommodate you on that price drop. And this is why sometimes it does help to work with a cruise travel agent, because they have an insider relationship with people at all major cruise lines, and they can usually get it done. But what if that final deadline has already passed and then you see another price drop? I'm going to tell you what to do with that next. But first, if you would take a minute and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and you won't miss our next video. Ultimately, the way you're going to get the best deal on your cruise is to book when it makes sense for the type of cruise you're booking, and then monitor that price over time for price drops. After that final payment has been made, cruise lines are more reluctant to match any price drops because that's when they are considering whether they need to offer some last-minute cruise deal incentives to bring more people on board. And if you've already committed to that cruise, you don't really fall into that last-minute cruise deal category. Sometimes these last-minute cruise price drops can be rather significant. And if you see that happen, it still doesn't hurt to call up your cruise travel agent or the cruise line and ask them for some compensation. In the case where the final payment has already been made, they're not likely to cut your price and give you back any kind of refund. But what they might do, and they do in many cases, is to try to appease you by offering you either some extra onboard credit that you can spend during your cruise or vouchers for a future cruise that you might purchase with them. In any case, it's something of value that you can get out of this. So it's still worth checking even if you've made that final payment, because while it probably won't reduce what you paid, you might get a little extra out of it. Not every cruise line will do this, but the major cruise lines often do. And it does again help if you work with a cruise travel agent because they have some more inside connections with the cruise lines. So now that you'll be getting the best deal on your next cruise, you can avoid some common cruising mistakes by following some insider crew member advice. I'll tell you all about that right here.